Well, the Seattle Seahawks get a big victory, go 3-0, one of the few teams that undefeated in the NFL, I guess in the NFC. They're one of two teams undefeated in the NFC. So they get big news though after the game, and I think it's really important to keep it in perspective. And again, we're Detroit Lions fans that talk about teams and stories that don't get the love nationally like they should on this channel. So we talk about the Seahawks and we have been all off season because I think the Seahawks are gonna be really good. We're here in Michigan. We watched Mike McDaniel when he was a defensive coordinator for Michigan, goes to the Seattle Seahawks. So here's the news that we're talking about, and I'll get to the game and everything as well, and kind of an outsider's perspective as you watch this game and see what's going on. And again, you got the Lions coming in, or you got the Lions next week, Monday Night Football. So you have an injury. Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy ruled out in that game. So there's a lot going on in that game because it was kind of sloppy. You kind of just knew from the jump you were going to beat this team. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, gosh, we're not looking the best. And then you have your 2-star defensive linemen go out. It's like, man, this is not good. We play the Lions next week, the whole thing. Well, here's what it's kind of looking like is that here's the good news that you get. First, Leonard Williams left the field and spent some time in the medical tent. He's listed as questionable with a rib injury. So you could see him kind of holding his side. It has to be a major, ribs, that's terrible. But it's not going to be a long-term out for the season type of deal. That's good news. So what if it's 2 weeks, right? Let's say a worst-case scenario, it's 3 weeks or something like that. You still got your star player who you need. You need Leonard Williams. That dude is an absolute stud. So a rib injury. And then for Byron Murphy, it's being thought that he has a hamstring injury. So here's the thing. If those are season ender type of injuries, you kind of know right away, and they're just going to tell you up at the podium afterwards, like, this isn't good. Mike McDaniel said he didn't know the severity, and so that tells me that they need to check on a little bit more, check on the swelling going down, all that stuff. So the good news after this game is that these are not season enders. And so, yes, you've got a tough game next week against the Lions, but you're 3-0, sitting as good as you could possibly be sitting. You have injuries. Every team does, but these aren't season enders. So you're feeling good if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. Then, on top of all that, you have an opportunity to, again, go play the Lions and really you've kind of had the Lions number for the last few years, just frustratingly as a Lions fan. But you're 3-0 and you don't have any long-term injuries. And so that you could be getting some guys back for the Lions game too. So that's the big news that I think you have to take away from this game, because ultimately, man, this game was, oh my gosh. Let's just talk about this game for a second. Again, from an outsider's perspective, again, you're looking at it. Skylar Thompson's the quarterback, and you're just like, well, but at the same time, they've got weapons. So you're like, are they going to use, what's going to happen here? They're going to use the weapons, whatever. And also, it's the National Football League. You saw it today, where the red-hot Arizona Cardinals get beat by the Lions pretty handedly. You see the Rams come back and beat the 49ers. You see the Broncos just kill the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who killed the Lions. So you never know. It's the National Football League. You just got to play it out and see what happens. So Skylar Thompson starting. Felt like they had a good opportunity, but the defense was dominant. And then later, Tim Boyle comes in. Just fun fact, Tim Boyle was on the Lions. He was on the Lions for the last couple of years. He is absolutely horrible. How he's even in the league is crazy. But, yeah, so he wasn't able to do anything. So the defense looked great. Now, this is what I love. Derek Hall continues his upward trajectory. So let me go down here. So Hall had 2 of Seattle's 6 sacks, a forced fumble, 5 tackles, and 4 quarterback hits. He's an outside linebacker. He got in the trade with Russell Wilson. Like, I love Derek Hall, and I think that's a really good. The emergence of Derek Hall and continued growth of Mafi Bode will bode very well for Seattle's pass rush, particularly so you've got guys coming back too, right? So I know these injuries are kind of sucky, but they're not long term, and you've got other guys coming back. The offense started fast, stalled out, then closed things out in style. And you know what? It's great to see DK Metcalf. There's this weird thought about him from me, I guess. So who cares? It's just my opinion. But it's like, dude, are you good? Are you not? Or what, man? And because again, outsider's perspective, you see him play good for a couple games and then he disappears. And then he's good. Then it's like, I want a little more from you. Just want a little more from you. And so to see him hit a big catch and dude, that's him, right? It's like, come on, man. That's what we're talking about. So I love seeing that, and to see DK Metcalf really go off is really good. But while it looked like Seattle might roll to a huge lead, the offense went on a funk, failing to score points in the second or third quarter and well into the fourth. So it's just like, oh my gosh, put this team away. What are we doing? Defense is playing great. Put them away. Finally, they do, and the game's over, and it's great. Let me go back into here real quick. And let me know in the comments your kind of prediction when it comes to Seahawks versus Lions. I know this one's just got over, so I'm not going to ask you to give your full prediction just yet, but thoughts on Lions Seahawks for me, and I'll get into it in just a second. This is what I was saying. He just keeps making big plays. The offense struggling. DK Metcalf didn't as productive day as he did in week 2 when he caught 10 passes for 129. But Metcalf was able to do it once again, show that even with limited opportunities, he can make game-changing plays. Exactly. So just stringing together really good games is awesome to see from him. And, hey, Zach Charbonnet, he's solid, man. I think Kenneth Walker's way better, but I still think Charbonnet is really good. So you could get Walker back even. Okay, really quick. Lions versus Seahawks coming up. Suddenly just a massive game that I'm excited to see. The Lions defense much improved over the last few years, so that really helps. Lions offense just has not gotten it going through 3 games, yet still 2-1. So from the Lions perspective, defense is playing good, offense still trying to figure it out, and still, if you look at the stats, middle of the league in offensive production, and they are not even playing well. So I think the Lions are pretty excited about that. As for the Seahawks, got a defensive head coach that's doing things right, 3-0, confidence is sky high. Maybe you get one of your 2 injured defensive linemen back. Kenneth Walker comes back. Defense looks good. So you've just had the Lions number for the last few years too. I know it's all different. There's different players each year, but it does kind of matter. I do think the Pete Carroll thing with the Lions was a thing. I don't know why. There was just this weird mojo where Pete Carroll just kind of would beat us, and it was just like, what the heck? So really interesting. Can't wait to see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's fine if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. Don't worry. You don't have long-term injuries. You're 3-0. Life is good. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see all of you on the next one.